Welcome to the Post Credits Podcast, where we talk about movies after the credits roll. My name is Jesse,
I'm Max.
And I'm Logan.
and today we're recapping the biggest night of the movies as we tell you what won gold and what deserved to. As we run down the 2026 Oscars, these are the 98th Academy Awards.
Yes. Crazy they've done
Yeah,
that
it's
98 of
exciting.
these, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the ceremony awarding movies that were released in 2025, of which we watched quite a few, I would say.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Not
At least
all of
more
them.
than normal. Like, this is the first year I feel like in a long time. I think the first year ever where I've actually seen every Best Picture nominee before the actual award ceremony. Just something I've never done before. I've tried it in the past and hasn't worked out too well. But this year was different.
Yeah. And when I last checked in on you, I was alone, unfortunately, and I had seen 47 out of the 50 Oscar nominees. Before the ceremony, I'd caught up with all of them, and I was 50 for 50. So I had not only an idea of what was going to win, but a personal stake in every category.
Yeah, you were definitely the authoritative voice on what was gonna get picked.
Yeah.
I
At
would
least
say,
because
'cause-
you had the background of like at least you've seen everything.
Although
So
maybe I
there's a side
wasn't
to that.
Maybe I wasn't so authoritative, and I'm just going to give you my stats up front for all of you who watched the nomination prediction or the winner predictions from last week. I went 18 for 24 this year, which is better than last year. Last year I went 17 for 23, but I hit on 75% of my predictions, which is 3/4. It's not bad, but it's not perfect. So I did get some things wrong. And yeah, we'll be discussing exactly what I did get wrong and whether or
All
not
of them. Spoiler
all-
alert. All
spoiler
of them.
alert.
Got none of
We
them
all got
right.
everything wrong.
No,
The ceremony was
we're
like a
really bad at this.
Yeah. Better luck next time. Maybe for the 200th ceremony will be my year. Maybe then we'll get it spot on.
Yeah.
One day.
One of these days we're gonna get all of them. But as they keep adding,
Could you imagine all of us as corpses in the 200th Academy Awards, just like, oh man, we still haven't gotten it yet.
well, when you die and become a vampire, you get future powers.
I mean, yeah.
Then it'll be the
I-
present. So
Oh my God! So
Yeah.
we won't know
you
anything.
can't get any
Yeah.
powers of the future.
Well, yeah. So shall we get started with the
Yeah.
awards?
Sure.
the
Yeah, I thought you were gonna
Oscars,
say.
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say. I'm so used to the weekly spoiler review of like, how'd you guys hear about this movie? I'm just like, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
most people know what the Oscars are, but no, that's not what you're gonna say.
Yeah, the Oscars are generally considered the authoritative voice on the best films of the year, although they never really are. But they're just whatever the American Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences believes are the best movies of the year in a variety of different fun categories. And yeah, we know they don't really mean anything, but it's fun to talk about them regardless because they make such a big deal out of them.
Yeah, it's a big night for Hollywood, like glitz and glamour, and seeing a bunch of movies that people like sometimes, and then just seeing celebrities there.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, it's very fun, and we talk about the Oscars quite a bit. So yeah, this year's Oscar host was Conan O'Brien,
My goat. Oh
right,
my god,
yeah.
my goat.
So good.
returning from last year. He was great.
Yeah, he's
as
incredible. I've said this a few times, but like I was so excited when they announced him last year as the host because it was at a weird time where like Jimmy Kimmel had been doing it for a few years, and then a few years prior there was like a Oscar host controversy, like from the years before. Like there were hosts before he came back, but it was all just like, oh, like there's no hosts anymore because of like online stuff, and then Jimmy Kimmel said he wasn't returning. Honestly, kind of thank God, because like I feel like his shtick's getting old. And then they say Conan O'Brien. I was like, that's it. That's the guy. That's the guy.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they got a really really good person to host, and his cold open was pretty good. I liked his cold open last year, in which he crawled out of out of Demi Moore, a la The Substance, and in this cold open, he parodied in a different horror movie where he dressed up as Aunt Gladys from Weapons and was chased around by all the kids from that movie.
Yeah.
As they ran through different Best Picture nominees.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. They ran through F1 and they showed like Javier Bardem reacting to the TV, and it's just him
Mhm.
and the kids running on the track.
Yep. Yeah.
I forgot he did another one too, wasn't that? But like before he ended up coming on stage, was there like another movie he ran through? Because remember there was
There was one more. He ran through Sinners.
Oh, I was about to say I think it was Sinners.
Yeah, because they spliced through like actual footage from the from the movies with him pretending to be. They ran through Sinners. They ran through Sentimental Value.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, because he was
He was talking
poking
with
fun at the when he's talking to Stellan Skarsgård's
right.
character.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of things. Then he ran on stage and started doing his old shtick where he does. He talks about all the Best Picture nominees. It's funny because like, he, I don't know. It's like we're not really supposed to realize that these are Best Picture nominees because, as we'll discuss, being a Best Picture nominee means that you're very favored in a lot of ballot default categories. Um, but he runs through them all and basically telegraphs what's gonna win. But still very funny jokes.
Yeah, all good stuff.
And yeah, then they brought out Zoe Saldana to start the show.
Wow, he really skipped a whole skipped a mouthful there
What did I skip?
with his monologue.
Yeah, I don't remember his monologue.
Yeah, we got a new Leo DiCaprio meme.
That was in the monologue?
Yeah,
Oh.
we got a new Leo DiCaprio meme, and then
Is that when he was host maxing with all the celebrity pilled? What was?
yeah, and then he did a bit right before that.
I'm gonna say it. I'm not even gonna paraphrase. I'm just gonna say it verbatim.
Yeah, because
When I find it.
he did a bit where at the beginning, which is one of my, if not my favorite bit that he's done, at least in the 2 years that he's been hosting, where he he's like, oh, Oscar winners are so like nonchalant, and if I was up there, I'd be acting like I was the king of the world or something. And then
yeah.
he does the parody where it's like
when you're
it's like,
host maxing the Oscars and low genuinely trying to riz up the younger demographic by going brain rot mode, and even though you're unk coded with a bunch of fame pilled NPCs, you're still S tier level order farming 6-7.
yeah, I mean that was a joke he made later in the show about how the TikTok generation can't watch something without Subway Surfers on the side. But,
yeah, and then the king bit.
Yeah, I love because the king. It's like I think it was like Denzel Washington, Antonio Banderas, and a few other people, and like he wins.
Glenn Close.
Yeah, Glenn Close, and then he wins, and he gets like a full like crown, and then he like, goes on stage, and some Broadway guy was on stage. I forgot his name.
The category that he won was Best Achievement.
Yeah, best achievement.
He won the Oscars.
He won the Oscar for Best Achievement. I think should have gone to Glenn Close, but you know what? Not my call, apparently.
Didn't predict it, did you?
Oh, 18 for 25. Because I missed Best Achievement. Yeah, so.
Yeah, really funny bit. It's always fun to see him do like little skits. I know last year he did a musical number where the sandworm from Dune was playing the piano, and then Deadpool came out on stage and started dancing across the stage. I realized I just said stage in that sentence twice. And then here you get like a bunch of fun Conan O'Brien antics. It's just really fun to see.
Yeah. And then they brought out Zoe Saldana to give the first award.
Yeah.
And that award.
Oh, Josh Groban. That's who the name was who was singing on stage. Sorry.
No, you're good.
And then Zoe
And
Saldana.
then finally Zoe Saldana. There's a little bit of a little traffic.
delay.
So when they do the acting categories, they bring on the winner from the previous year to give the award, pass it forward, to the next to the next nominees and the next winner. So Zoe Saldana won last year for her role in Emilia Perez, which was the worst movie of the Oscar cycle last year.
Honestly, one of the worst Best Picture nominees I've ever seen.
Ever. Like, legitimately
I
ever.
still
That
don't
movie's
understand.
terrible.
I haven't seen one that bad since Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. I haven't seen that movie, but I know about that. I know about the controversy with it.
No, Emilia Perez was terrible, but I'm not gonna shove that off to Zoe Saldana, even though she should have been running lead. It's a whole thing, but she came on to give the award, and the nominees for supporting actress were Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners, and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. And the winner was Amy Madigan.
Yeah.
Right.
I was so happy to see her win that.
You guys were so excited when that happened.
Yeah, because it's not only great for like horror movies to see like a horror performance win, because like that doesn't happen too much. But also with Amy Madigan, like Weapons, I really like that movie, and the fact that it's literally been I think 40 years or something since the last time Amy Madigan was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
So it's just really I was so happy to see her win. She looked so happy and flustered at the same time. But It was really cool to see her. Like, I know a lot of people were banking on either her or Tiana Taylor, but I'm glad they gave it to Amy Madigan. Maybe it's because I like Weapons more than one battle, but besides that, I think performance wise, I latched onto her more than I did Tiana Taylor.
So yeah, Amy Madigan, despite delivering a terrific performance and also it being in a horror movie, if you've seen Weapons, this might come as a surprise to you. Amy Madigan is only on screen for 13 minutes of that movie, which is like almost 2 hours long. And wow, she steals the screen in every scene she's in. It's fantastic. All of the most memorable scenes of that movie include her to some degree. And she is delivering a legitimate villain performance. This is like if a slasher villain won an Oscar. This is like if Ethan Hawke won for Black Phone. Like, that's the level that we're talking about here. And that's something that never happens. I mean, the Oscars have this incredible history of disregarding horror, besides for like a couple of movies. Silence of the Lambs, they really liked for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's for whatever reason, it's a great
I'm
movie.
not saying it's a bad movie.
a
I'm just saying
fantastic movie.
it's like that's the one that they latched onto. And it's like some have been nominated for Best Picture over the years. The most recent one was last year with The Substance, but that only took home makeup.
Yeah, I saw there's only with Sinners, I think I have the exact list. There's only been like I think 7 or 8 horror movies ever
Right.
that have gotten
And that's
8. There's been only been 8 that's gotten awards attention.
and that's like there are some movies in that list that some people don't consider horror. Movies like Jaws, or even some people say Silence of the Lambs isn't a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like
I
more
would-
thriller.
Yeah, like a thriller. And so like to see a horror performance and just a straight horror performance, I mean that movie's scary.
Yeah.
Just like to see that get nominated and to win is so great. And Amy Madigan 100% deserves it. I mean, even from the perspective of a career award, she's been long overdue. And yeah, she gave the best performance of this crop, in my opinion. That's why I wanted her to win. And because it was such a toss up, I just predicted her to win.
I did too.
Went with my gut.
a good talent, I feel like there wasn't a performance that was nominated that I was like, you know what, that doesn't belong. But all of them I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
They all did very good. So not complaining there.
Yeah, but
Not complaining.
not complaining at all. And Amy Madigan was just fantastic. I'm very glad she won. She gave a very flustered speech.
Yeah, kind of like I
Uh,
mentioned earlier. Like she was like so overwhelmed, but at the same time, like I'm really happy for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So who presented the next award for animated feature film?
Yeah, I'm surprised that was second. I'm surprised that came so quickly.
Yeah.
In the awards, because best animated feature. So Will Arnett and Channing Tatum presented that one, and honestly, I'm not really seeing more people talk about this, but they got Lego Batman and Lego Superman on stage together, which is kind of cool. At least for me, like my childhood, and kind of like I don't know, like the Lego movie was one of those movies that kind of
Yeah.
like the first movie I saw in theaters twice, and also like I've watched that in the Lego Batman movie on loop. So like seeing the two of them on stage presenting animated, and them joking about like their animated voice roles, I thought was just really funny.
You gotta love Will Arnett. He was great.
Will Arnett is fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. It's cool seeing Channing Tatum at the Oscars. I haven't really seen him at all. I haven't really seen him that much recently. But
I mean, a Roof Man, so seeing him up there.
Yeah, he was.
yeah,
he was in
Roofman.
Roofman, and now he's gunning for some Oscar attention with the Sundance film Josephine,
yeah,
releasing this year. So that'll be interesting to see. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing there, towards Channing Tatum's Oscar campaign.
yeah, gotta tune in next year to see if we're right.
But yeah, so Channing Tatum and Will Arnett came on stage to deliver this award. And the nominees for animated feature film were Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
Let's see which one won, eh?
I wonder which one won.
wonder.
I do want to preface this by saying last year was not great for animation. Really sad.
No.
But because Elio, in my opinion, was a bad movie, and I don't say that about Pixar very often. And I kind of look like, what do you replace it with? I don't know if I have an answer.
Demon Slayer, just something.
Something, yeah. I
Just
guess Demon Slayer. Yeah, forgot that
Neja
came out.
2. I don't care. Like anything. Elio was terrible. I put it in my bottom 10 of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily think it was that bad, but yeah, it was
And the
not
winner
great.
is Elio.
No, no, it was
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters was my second favorite movie of the year, and by far the best of the crop. Not to say that the rest of them were bad, except for Elio. Elio was bad, but I quite liked Little Amelie and even Zootopia too. Um, but yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters, 100% a deserved win.
Yeah,
Uh,
continue Disney's losing streak. They're 4 years now of losing Best Animated Feature. Last time they won was Encanto, all
Yeah.
the way back in I think 21, 22.
Movie came out in 21,
21,
so
so I think
that
the
would be a 22 ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's been a while for Disney, and honestly, I don't think that they've released a whole lot of good recently. Like, I mean, Zootopia 2 was good, but not nearly as good as like it was the fourth best nominee here.
Oh really? You like the other two more? I mean,
Maybe not Arco, but like they're around the same level of goodness. I feel.
yeah, I really enjoyed Zootopia too, and K-pop Demon Hunters for me was, I guess, just give my little snippet, but like you could talk about this. I've talked about this a little bit in prior episodes, but K-pop Demon Hunters was such a pleasant surprise. Even when I watched it, I heard really good things about it, but I didn't know if it was just going to be a movie carried by its songs. Which, speaking of its songs, we'll be talking about that. I'm sure later, but I was surprised. It actually had a really good story to it. It actually does what I think all musicals should do, which is have really catchy songs, but them actually conveying something about the characters, so that way it doesn't just feel random. 'Cause
Oscar and Hammerstein would like to chat.
Yeah.
they kind of pioneered that. And
Yeah.
you know what? It's great.
Yeah, totally deserving. So happy for K-pop Demon Hunters winning this one.
Yeah. No, K-pop Demon Hunters was fantastic. Logan, did you see K-pop Demon Hunters?
No.
Did you hear the songs?
I mean, the one they performed,
The
the one
one.
they could have done like 2 or 3, but
Yeah, we'll
one
get
was
to that.
fun.
We'll get to that performance later. We'll discuss the song live performances because I know we have some opinions on them. But Channing Tatum and Will Arnett stayed on stage.
Yeah,
Um,
speaking of animation,
Yeah,
they're not done.
to deliver the nominees for animated short film.
none of these I've seen.
I've seen all of them, and I'm not going to stay here and blab about all of them, so I'm just going to quickly run through the nominees and winners. And yeah. So the nominees were Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters. And the winner was The Girl Who Cried Pearls, which was the best of the crop, having seen all of them. I thought Butterfly was going to win just because it felt more Oscar-y. But no, The Girl Who Cried Pearls was just fantastic. I'm so glad it got recognized for the Oscar.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it won. I mean, based on your opinion on that one, I feel like definitely another deserving one. I guess it seems to be the theme of at least this year's Oscars in particular.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't remember who they called for the stage for the next award, which was costume design.
Who was it? Let me see.
It was Anna Wintour and Anne Hathaway
Oh, Devil
presenting
Wears
the costume
Prada.
design Oscar. They do this a lot for the Oscars, where they will take a couple of people who are implicitly promoting a new film.
Yeah, that was
a new
something
movie.
that was something they started fairly recently, and I'm glad that they're sticking around to it. Because for
Yeah.
the longest time, there's always like the two most random celebrities together. I'm like, okay, interesting. And then I think it was like 23. I think was the first time they did it. Really, I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, and last year they had like Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt show up to promote The Fall Guy. This time they had the Anna Wintour and Anne Hathaway up for Devil Wears Prada 2 to announce the winner for costume design. The nominees for costume design were Avatar: Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. And the winner was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I saw this coming from a mile away.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure most people did. I mean, you watch the movie and you see the name Guillermo del Toro, and it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna have great costumes.
You see the behind the scenes of each of them, and then you see Frankenstein and
Yeah.
Jacob Elordi getting his makeup on, and you're like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, really cool stuff. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, and just even besides that, on a costume level, I think they gave it to the right person or right people. Sorry, right movie. I should
Yeah,
say.
I mean, right person. It was Kate Hawley who actually won the Oscar for costume design. And yeah, if you look back on our weekly spoiler review on Frankenstein, you know I have my problems with the movie, but I cannot deny that it's an incredibly handsome production. Almost all of the technical things that you could want from a movie are present in spades in Frankenstein. Costume design being 100% one of them. Images that stick with you with the clothing. It really was fantastic and very hard to deny that Oscar. And yeah, you'll see Frankenstein definitely getting a lot of love in a technical aspect.
Yeah.
So when did the first musical performance happen? Was it a little after this or a little?
I don't know. I think it was
I think it
around
was
this time.
after.
I think it was around this time.
Remember, it was a little bit later.
Okay, I mean, yeah, let's.
Because there's only two.
There was only two.
I mean, we could talk about it now. I don't remember exactly when it happened.
Yeah, let's discuss it now because we're only a little bit away from our next interesting category here. Something quite fantastic happened actually. But let's talk about the first musical performance, which was the performance of "I Lied to You" from Sinners, performed by Miles Caton, who actually performed it in the movie.
Yeah.
Uh,
He does great. His singing voice is so on point. Like you think he's lip syncing, but like when you're on stage at the Oscars, you're not lip syncing. You're actually
No.
singing the song.
no, he's singing.
He's a
I-
great vocalist.
I mean, and if you've seen the scene from Sinners where he sings the song, the camera's kind of moving floaty around the barn, and we're seeing like this like heritage. We got like this history of black music and this future of black music because we've got like old like traditional African songs, and then moving forward, and we've got like hip hop and a lot of modern things like that, and then
Shabuzi.
Shabuzi shows up in the
Shabuzi.
Oscar performance. That was pretty great. And
Was
and
this when I was getting my sandwich? I think I missed this part.
yeah, you
Oh
did.
yeah, you're
You
getting
did
your
miss
Let me
that,
tell
that's
you,
right.
I ordered a sandwich from somewhere in our campus.
Yeah,
I'm
not
gonna-
to put them on the spot.
no, not naming any names, but they promised me 20 minutes. Sorry, it's like a little tangent, but they
This is
promised
an important
me
part of the Oscars.
it's gonna take 20 minutes to make a little Reuben sandwich that I wanted at like 6:20. 7:30 they say, "Oh, it's ready." I take 10 minutes to get there and
Ugh.
back to get my sandwich, and I'm very mad about it because as you could probably deduce by now, it took an hour 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was good, but it was cold, but
yeah, not worth the wait.
not worth the wait.
And then in the movie Sinners, they don't order a sandwich that takes an hour and a half to get here, but it's whatever.
Mm.
But in the movie, there's a moment in that dance scene where they focus on the Chinese character played by Li Junli, and they follow her for a moment, and we get a bit of traditional Chinese dance in there,
Yeah,
which is like mirroring exactly what they're doing with the black culture in the rest of the scene. And they do that again in the Oscars performance, and it's quite fantastic. I mean, like,
yeah, great all around. There was even a ballet dancer on stage.
yeah. I
But
mean,
I don't know if it was a poke at Timothy Chalamet, but still, it was still cool to see.
I mean, just a lot of dance, and I think definitely enhanced by the camera work. The pro shot of that was really fantastic. And yeah, I mean, it mirrors exactly what was in the movie, but I didn't need it to do anything else. What was in the movie was already fantastic, and they did it live. Like, that's impressive as hell.
Yeah, they did a solid job. Like, not my favorite Oscar like musical performance. I'm Just Ken will never be topped in my opinion. Watching that live was awesome. Ryan Gosling did great. But also, like, one of my favorite parts of this year's, Miles Caton walks off stage, and then literally Jack O'Connell and the other two from that movie come up, and they get rejected even at the
Yeah.
Oscars.
Yeah.
And Jack O'Connell's wearing prosthetic fangs, which is hard to see on camera, but like in red carpet photos, he's wearing like prosthetic fangs. Like really,
Yeah.
it's fun. I like that, and also he's great.
Yeah. No, that was, I thought, a very, very good musical performance.
Yeah, it was very well done. Not to spoil this too much, but definitely my favorite of the two.
I agree. Yeah, they also brought Buddy Guy on stage, who made a little cameo in Sinners as well.
Yeah.
And then it was time to move on to the next category. That category was makeup and hair.
Yeah, you'll never guess which one this went to.
And this was, and we definitely missed the timing on the musical performance. It was actually right before costume design,
Oh.
because it was still Anna Wintour and Anne Hathaway presenting the makeup and hairstyling award.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was around the same time. At least we clocked that.
Yeah. And the best makeup and hairstyling award, the nominees were Frankenstein, Kokuho, Sinners, The Smashing Machine,
Oh boy.
One of the early days on the podcast.
and
The only thing they got nominated for, so don't worry.
and The Ugly Stepsister, and the winner was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Now, I thought that this was a really interesting crop of nominees. I was very happy with these nominees, and as bad as The Smashing Machine was, it's not their fault that the movie was misogynist. They did a good job on the makeup. I don't know what was going on, like in the writers' room and in the directing chair, but the makeup was fantastic in that movie.
It was, yeah.
It really looked like Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
At a certain point, it did.
Yeah.
Once he shaves, it kind of
I mean, I still bought into it.
yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
But The Ugly Stepsister has great makeup, and Kokuho I was really impressed by. I didn't realize, like, I didn't think it was going to get anything, but it's a movie about kabuki, the Japanese performance art, and yeah, no, the makeup is pretty stellar. I could certainly see why I got nominated for that. If you've ever seen kabuki makeup, they do it very, very well.
Not to be confused with the Beach Boys' lesser-known song, Kokomo. You should put that whole song in full.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
composed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a
Alright.
good idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll sing a cover of it.
Yeah.
No,
3, 2,
no,
1. Good God. So I can't sing if you can't tell already.
All right, now that
No,
you're
he
back
just
from Max's excellent rendition of Kokomo.
We just cut it out. It was fantastic, honestly. He made all the drum noises himself. He sang
Yeah.
it like almost perfectly.
Yeah, he was layering the instrumental
layering-
on the vocals with his own voice. Like I don't know
He was
even how he
layering
did
the
that.
harmony with his own voice. It
Yeah.
sounded like all four of the Beach Boys singing. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew I could do that. Like, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, speaking of drums, I mean,
If we ever make a Patreon, we'll let you listen.
yeah. Yeah, speaking
Uh,
of drums, a bit before this was
yes.
the Timothy Chalamet bum drum, where like they
Oh,
recreate
boy.
that bit from Marty Supreme, where like it's a plastic butt and they take paddles and like smack it.
In the movie, it's his real butt. He didn't
Yeah.
want a butt double.
Butt double.
Butt double.
Yeah, so they do a bit about that, and then they bring out 5 presenters
Yeah.
to present the new category, Best Casting, Achievement in Casting. I think is
Yeah.
actually what it's called.
I will say this this way of presenting, they introduced it in 23 where they brought back for the acting performances, they brought back previous Academy Award winners to present the nominees that year. It was the year that Cillian Murphy won for Best Actor. It was the year that Robert Downey Jr. won for Best Supporting Actor. I don't remember the others quite off the top of my head. which is-
Divine Joy Randolph.
Divine
for
Joy
supporting
Randolph, yeah.
actress.
Divine Joy Randolph, yeah. Who won lead actress that year? Oh, I think it was Emma Stone.
Yes.
I think it was Emma Stone, yeah, for Poor Things. I loved that. That was I think that's one of my favorite new renditions in the Academy, and it's cool to see them bring them back for casting, where you have one person for each nominee that was actually casted in the movie give spotlight to the casting directors.
Yeah, and
really great stuff.
they did that last year also for makeup and costume design, I believe, and production. Like they did it for a lot of technical categories in the last Oscars, but now they only did it for casting this year. The nominees were Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. And I believe it was Paul Mescal that
Yeah.
presented for Hamnet, and Gwyneth Paltrow, who presented for Marty Supreme, who presented for One Battle. Chase Infinity,
Yeah, Chase Infinity did
For
one
One
battle.
Battle,
Delroy Lindo for Sinners.
and
Wagner Moura.
Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent.
Yeah.
And they all had their like own mini speech to
Yeah.
Yeah.
the casting directors.
Yeah, although in Wagner Moura's case, it was more of a macro speech because he
Very Oscar-worthy sized speech.
The Delroy
All things
Lindo side eye.
considered.
he gave his whole speech, and he was talking about the casting director, Gabriel Dominguez, and he was talking, and then the camera cut to Delroy Lindo, and Delroy Lindo
Delroy Lingo.
was about to
Who's
give
that? Who's that?
I was about to-
was about to give his speech on Francine Meisler, and then he opens his mouth, and then Wagner Moura's like, one more thing.
And then,
Just kept going.
you just see him turning his head, just like
Yeah, and then-
obviously I know you guys can't see that, but I turned my head. But
Wow.
like,
I
he
think we
does, like-
can imagine what that looks like.
Yeah.
Imagine Max turning his head, and then instead of Max, imagine Delroy Lindo. You've got it. You figured it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
put two and two together, it'll pop up there.
But the winner of Best Casting was One Battle After Another. The Oscar went to Cassandra Koulakundis, meaning that no man has ever won the Best Achievement in Casting Oscar. The first ever all-female Oscar,
Yeah.
I think. Unless, except for actress.
Well,
Well,
Yeah.
well, well.
mean-
well.
I should hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so
Kinda.
too.
Kind of separating by gender, but like tech categories. I know hopefully there was a woman that won at the first Oscars, but
Me too.
yeah, the first ever winner of casting
But yeah,
was a woman, and congratulations to her.
yeah.
I don't think she deserved it, but I think that there were other movies that were better at casting. I thought Marty Supreme deserved to win it for all the casting choices it made. Even Sinners could have won it for the amount of new talent it brought up. But I'm still very happy for
Yeah.
Koulakundis here.
Especially like getting like previous talent and people like Leo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, and Benicio del Toro, and then also having like star-making performance from Chase Infinity as not just a side character, but as like a prominent lead. I thought was really well done. Same thing with Sinners too. I personally probably would have given it to Marty Supreme just because of the ensemble there, where you get people like it's a Safdie brothers thing, where Tyler the Creator and Kevin O'Leary, and we did a whole podcast on this movie if you're more interested on that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's sad that this felt like a ballot default category. Even when the nominations came out and every single movie nominated for casting is also nominated for Best Picture, it's like, really? You couldn't have found a fun nominee for this, like something
Yeah, like a Wake Up Dead Man, because
like a Wake Up Dead Man for that cast.
yeah.
Because I would have thought like Wake Up Dead Man is like, you look at the cast, like every person in that is a star, like, and there's also like each one of them has like a lesser actor that's alongside Benoit Blanc, or maybe not so much with Glass Onion, but I know Knives Out, like Ana de Armas, like before she got really big, and or I guess even bigger than she was now, and then Wake Up Dead Man, like Josh O'Connor starting to become more popular.
Yeah,
Like-
this
like
is for
that-
sure his breakout year.
Like that's what I was like. I'm shocked that that's not the criteria. But I guess casting can mean all sorts of things. But in my mind, if I was to do best casting a couple years ago, the two recipients would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Top Gun Maverick, which seem like random choices. But like you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it has Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. In the supporting cast, you got Margaret Qualley, you got Mikey Madison, Austin Butler, all before they really became famous, and they all started right there in that movie. And then Top Gun Maverick, you got like young Glenn Powell, younger Lewis Pullman before they really took off. I mean, I know Lewis Pullman's son of Bill Pullman, but like before he really established himself as an actor. It's kind of cool to see that stuff.
And look, I think if I was in charge of casting, I think the far and away winner from this year would have been The Long Walk.
Yeah,
I mean, you
Long
look at-
Walk's another one. Yeah,
I-
that's a great cast.
Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Garrett Waring, Ben Wang,
Yeah,
even Mark Hamill is a good casting choice. Completely unrecognizable, but I'm looking at what could have been nominated for casting, and I can't help but feel like this category is a little bit of a disappointment. And not to discredit the work of the casting directors who worked on these movies, but I feel like that there is much more interesting achievements in casting. You look at a movie like The Long Walk, even a movie like The Life of Chuck, that would have made for a really good casting nominee. Even a movie like Companion, I would go with. I can't help but feel a little disappointed, and it's a little sad for me that this has become a ballot default category, and I hope in future years of casting it won't become like this. I hope
Yeah.
that they branch out a little bit.
I hope not either, because at least for one battle, like I get why. Like I'm not like for kind of what I just said. Like I'm not confused why they picked that one over the others, but like at the same time, it's like it's kind of disappointing that the movie that won Best Picture also won Best Casting, and I hope that doesn't continue that path. I'm hoping with Best Stunts they actually get more. I mean, it's hard to because not every movie has elaborate stunts. I hope they actually choose more unique things instead of just filling it out with Best Picture nominees. Because you look at movies like this year, like how many of them actually have stunts. Like imagine like Sentimental Value getting best stunts. That won't happen. I would be sad if that happened, but like
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I know it was their first time, so there's room to grow there. But yeah, I just hope it doesn't become a default category. I agree.
Yeah.
But not to say that the nominees didn't deserve to get nominated, or the one that won didn't deserve it. But yeah, not my ideal choice. But it doesn't mean that any of them did a bad job, because casting directors are very talented. And for the movies that were nominated, had good casts. So I'm not super hung over it, but like I am
Yeah.
a little bit nervous of how they're gonna do this in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be my last piece on it because I think we're running a little too long. But when I look at the cast of One Battle After Another, what I see is an excellent financial and budgeting achievement. The fact that they're able to get all these people on and pay them all. Because I mean, Chase Infinity notwithstanding, because yes, very good pick, and not one that I would have thought of, not one that I would have found on my own. But like, yeah, I would have Leonardo DiCaprio to lead my movie. Yeah, I would have Sean Penn as the antagonist. Like, you look at a movie like Sinners, and I think it does the same thing that One Battle does, but better. Yeah, you're casting this really good actor in the lead role. Obviously, you want Michael B. Jordan to lead your film, but then also you're discovering Miles Caton, who's more than just a fantastic actor; he's a fantastic vocalist. That's not something easy to find. And then you have Jack O'Connell, who's a fantastic and underrepresented actor among features, and he's your main antagonist. I was just, I don't know, I wasn't impressed by casting going to One Battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, those two are about the same for me. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Especially like for a guy like Jack O'Connell, I'm glad he's getting more roles, because yeah, he recently just got cast in A Quiet Place Part 3.
Yay!
Very excited for that. And he was recently in Bone Temple. He's
Yeah.
great in that.
Yeah, and then they brought out Kumail Nanjiani to present Best Live Action Short, and because history was made in the Best Live Action Short category, I get an excuse to talk about the shorts. Finally. Because Live Action Short, I'll list the nominees first before I get into the crazy, amazing thing that happened.
Let's just say a lot of
Or
people's
unexpected.
parlays
Yeah.
were a lot of people's Oscar pools were sadly destroyed.
The nominees were Butcher's Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. And it was a tie.
Yeah.
Oh
This is
boy.
the seventh time in Oscar history that's happened. The last time was in 2013. Sound editing was tied. And the two winners were The Singers and Two People Exchanging Saliva, which were my two favorite. So pretty happy about that result. And because
Are you secretly one of the Academy judges?
Yeah, we're exposing Jesse on
could you
today's episode.
imagine? Yeah, so The Singers is this really cool little short about people who stage an impromptu singing competition at a bar. It's one of the most beautiful shorts I've seen and one of the most impactful. Two People Exchanging Saliva is about this really weird society in which kissing is the most taboo thing that one can do. Instead of paying with money, you pay by getting slapped in the face. And so the rich people use their bruises as a sign of like wealth and status. It's just a fantastic movie. It's super weird. It's super queer. I like it a lot. And full disclosure, I've had a conversation with the people who directed the movie, but I held this opinion before I talked to them. But yes, Two People Exchanging Saliva was my favorite short, not only of the live action side, but also of all 15 shorts. Two People Exchanging Saliva was my favorite.
When did you talk to them? That sounds impressive, actually.
Yeah, they joined a Discord server I was part of. Shout out to the Academy of Death Racers. Yeah, they joined that server. Had a little chat with them. It was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that was live action short film, a tie. Which there was so much like
It was cool to see that happen. I thought Kumail Nanjiani was making a joke, because knowing
No.
Kumail Nanjiani, because I thought he was going to be like, oh, here we're going to do this. One award is going to be one person exchanging saliva, the other one's going to be for the other person. But no, it was
No,
actually
it was straight up a tie.
It was actually a tie. I had no idea that was a thing, but yeah, kind of unexpected and pretty cool. I mean, I'm happy for both winners, so congrats to both of those films
yes,
for winning.
they're quite fantastic and no matter which one won, I was gonna be like, oh, the other one probably. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if it won. But both of them winning, this is the best outcome for me. I am swimming, and um, just for my personal count, I am counting my prediction of two people exchanging saliva winning as a full win. I'm not doing half points here. Full win for me. I got that 100% right. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we move on to the next category, which was actor in a supporting role, presented by last year's actor in a supporting role winner, Kieran Culkin,
Yeah.
who for his fantastic performance in A Real Pain. The nominees were Benicio del Toro for One Battle, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. And the winner was Sean Penn, who was absent from the ceremony. We didn't know why at the time, but the reason was that he was visiting the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, at the time. Which, a good a reason as any to miss the Oscars. I will say.
Yeah, because he did that out of his own enjoy. Because he's very close with Ukraine.
Yeah. No, and fair. I think the reason that I mean, besides the presentation being kind of underwhelming, and it's not an unheard of thing for actors not to be there when receiving an Oscar.
Yeah,
Marlon Brando wasn't there when he received his Oscar, I believe.
Yeah, Michael Caine wasn't, which I only know that because Michael Caine was filming Jaws: The Revenge instead of winning his Oscar. Why you would
Less
do
of a
that?
good reason.
Yeah, less of a good reason.
than
Yeah.
visiting Zelensky.
Yeah. But I find this win very underwhelming because I thought that he was one of the least deserving of these 5 nominees. Now, I like Sean Penn's performance in One Battle, but not nearly as much as I like Jacob Elordi or Delroy Lindo or Stellan Skarsgård's performances.
Yeah.
I said I wanted Jacob Elordi to win. I stand by that. I think he gave the best performance, even though I knew he had no chance.
Oh, he's great. He has a fantastic career ahead of him. Watching him in Frankenstein, I really saw something from him that I never thought I would see. I wasn't too familiar with him before then, but Frankenstein, I was like, wow. And the fact that he was a runner-up, that he literally joined the cast 3 weeks before production because Andrew Garfield was supposed to be Frankenstein. And maybe it's just because I'm so used to it, but honestly, kind of thank God it wasn't Andrew Garfield. Jacob Elordi did a fantastic job and definitely deserved. But Sean Penn winning, I'm fine with it. He's a great actor. I haven't seen Mystic River, but the famous clip of him in that movie, he's fantastic. And now he's one of a select few, especially in the actor category, has 3 acting Oscars. So kind of cool.
Yeah. And he's a great actor. Look, I'm not going to begrudge the fact that he won the Oscar. I would have given it to someone else.
Yeah. It probably would have been cooler to see Stellan Skarsgård maybe because he's later in his career, but I don't know.
They're both pretty late in their careers.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Regardless, it's whatever. Moving on, speaking of comic book presenters, they actually brought on Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.
Avengers reunion.
An Avengers reunion. They're both in Avengers Doomsday coming out later this year.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. in his green suit.
Yeah,
his green Doctor Doom suit. And they presented the 2 writing categories. First, they presented adapted screenplay and then original screenplay. And yeah, they had a bit about it being exactly 14 years or something since the original Avengers came out, and that
it's crazy. I remember seeing the trailer for that many years ago.
Yeah, and that they joked about each of them got something for the other's anniversary, and Chris Evans got Robert Downey Jr. a signed copy of the script, and Robert Downey Jr. brought Chris Evans Channing Tatum's glittery thong,
which he needed back.
Yeah, he needed that back.
From Magic Mike.
Yeah. The nominees for adapted screenplay were Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams, and the winner was One Battle After Another in one of the most locked categories of the night.
Yeah.
That was it's based on Vinland by Thomas Pynchon, I think. And yeah, it was very locked. A front runner for Best Picture. locks the screenplay category, another kind of ballot default category.
Speaking of which, have we talked about Paul Thomas Anderson's, handling of?
Well, this is his first.
No, this is the
writing. This
first-
is his first Oscar of his whole career.
Yeah.
And I have my gripes with One Battle After Another, but I can't deny that Paul Thomas Anderson deserves an Oscar. I mean, he's
yeah.
been making these movies for so long and just at such a consistent quality. It's a miracle he hasn't won one by now.
That
yeah,
being
this is his
said,
time.
we had like a running joke throughout the evening that night with starting then
Yeah.
where
So Paul Thomas Anderson, he was
Explain it.
nervous probably, and he had this nervous like tick where he kept rotating the statue around in his hand and grasping and ungrasping it, and it looked like he was like shy touching it because it was really hot.
really hot. So
It was
we
like, it was,
it's
like,
like-
really
so we
hot.
thought, did
Yeah.
they just store all his statues in a hot oven?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they accidentally left his statues in the oven before bringing them out. And they're
Yeah,
like, it's fine, just bring
It's
them
like-
out.
and
Oh,
the hot
no,
and the
where
hot
is
potato
Oscars?
goes to
Yeah, the
PTA.
hot potato.
The hot
Ow,
potato.
Ow, ow,
Ow, ow, ow.
I was like,
God,
"Dude,
ow, ow.
I was like, so-
But yeah, he kind of looked like his hands are burning up in there. Not great for a guy who has to accept
mean,
multiple.
Yeah, because like it's kind of funny to watch him do it, but like I feel like if I was on stage, I feel like I would have to set it on the floor before I start speaking because I will be messing with it.
Yeah. And I definitely know people who have. Lol Crawley put his Oscar on the floor last year.
Oh
while
yeah,
accepting cinematography for The Brutalist.
that's right. I remember that.
And then original screenplay, which Chris Evans and RDJ also presented. We had Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. And the winner was Sinners, the other shoe-in for this
Yeah.
category,
Great.
which gave Ryan Coogler his first Oscar.
Yeah, great to see him get an Oscar.
handled it at room temperature, I'd say.
Yeah.
He had his hands comfortably around it while delivering his speech in T-minus 30 seconds. It was impressive. He got a lot out in a very short amount of time
We
in there.
need more of that.
Yeah. Definitely the opposite of Adrian Brody's speech from last time.
Yeah,
So 2 writing nominees, unfortunately 2 that were kind of givens. Like you never like it to be a
Yeah.
given, but
This-
unfortunately it was.
most of the ceremony to me, and I'll say this later, but most of the ceremony to me was kind of predictable, which I've
Um,
been saying for the past 2 years now.
I mean, yeah, I would say according to my splits, it was about 75% predictable.
Yeah, I mean still
The
a high
the
number,
other
yeah.
6 were completely impossible, and no one actually ever got them. Definitely the highest in the world. Yeah. And then they brought on Pedro Pascal and Sigourney Weaver.
Shaved.
Shaved Pedro Pascal.
Shaved.
Smooth Pascal.
He literally did an interview because like he played Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984, which sounds random, but he shaved in that movie, and he said, "I'm keeping my facial hair. That something doesn't look right." And he on stage took his mustache and gave it to Leo DiCaprio, who was
Meh.
rocking the Tom Selleck look. So like, seeing him on stage with that, I thought of that, and I thought it was kind of funny that he's like, "Oh, like I don't shave my face for stuff," and then there he was on stage.
Yeah,
Look
and
at
you know
that.
what?
shave.
He was right. It doesn't look right. But him and Sigourney Weaver promoting their new movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah,
Grogu was also in the stands, little
Yeah.
Baby Yoda puppet,
next to Kate Winslet.
next to Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Couldn't clap, unfortunately.
Couldn't
Yeah.
clap. The puppet
You're at
doesn't
the
let you
Poor-
clap.
poor
Oscars and you
Grogu.
can't clap. It's travesty.
Not the first time that they've done like clever puppeteering at the Oscars. If you'll remember, a couple years ago, Indy the dog from Anatomy of a Fall was at the Oscars.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the nominees for production design, which is the award they're presenting, were Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. And the winner was Frankenstein. Another shoe-in, Frankenstein, for a lot of technical categories. Those 3 that it won in particular were just very obvious winners.
All right, I wouldn't say technical. I would say practical for the ones that I won.
It's true. A lot of it was practical.
Yeah, which I know like the terminology ways, yes, but like in a sense, costumes, makeup, production, design, like a lot of it, especially on a Del Toro production, like very practical and very well done. I mean, the production design in Frankenstein's is of course immaculate. He really knows how to bring sets to life. Del Toro really has an eye for that, eye for creatures. Great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Del Toro knows how to pick them when it comes to those technical categories. And just like he does have such a unique and delicate vision
Yeah.
for those things that when a movie like that comes out, it's kind of hard not to give it something because it looks very pretty. It's a very beautiful movie. And yeah, the sets were a huge part of that. The sets were fantastic
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah, just watching it, like every scene has something interesting in it in its production design. So I feel like they definitely picked the best one, in my opinion.
Sigourney Weaver and Pedro Pascal stayed on stage to present Best Visual Effects. The nominees were Avatar, Fire, and Ash.
Well, you'll never guess which one won.
Yeah, the nominees were Avatar, Fire, and Ash, and that was it. But they also nominated F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners.
What are those?
Fire and Ash won
Yeah.
because it's an Avatar movie, and they can't help but give it to an Avatar movie.
Sigourney Weaver presenting for Avatar because she's in all three of them. Kind of funny.
She's in all three of them, playing two different characters.
I mean, as much as you say, oh, it shouldn't be a category. I mean, Avatar, the visuals are fantastic. Like, it's hard to not give it to Avatar.
Look, Avatar, no doubt. Like, it's a visual effects masterpiece. I can't deny that they look fantastic. Even the first one from 2009 looks better than most blockbusters, like most visual effects blockbusters.
The first one looks very
released
good
this year.
Yeah, I would say like Avatar, and then like Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, with Davy Jones.
So Avatar deserved the win and got it. Even though it's a little bit of a boring category, it's like you can't deny the fantastic VFX work of the people that worked on Avatar.
Yeah, one of the biggest nominations that shocked me upon its initial announcement was Jurassic World Rebirth, because the other three didn't get it at all, and then randomly it's like, oh yeah, Jurassic World, let's throw that one in there. I'm like, okay, not a single comic book movie made it, which was kind of sad.
Yeah. And then guess who took the stage? But our old washed up friend Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, back to present something, not host the award show this time.
He took a fun jab at Conan O'Brien. He said Conan went outside to grab some air, accidentally exposing his face to the sun and immediately disintegrating. And he presented, and Jimmy Kimmel presented the two documentary awards: documentary feature film and documentary short film.
Definitely a fitting category for him to present. At least if you're gonna have him present a category, I feel like this is the one.
And I mean, we all kind of know what Jimmy Kimmel has been through this year. Where he's coming from, and given the nominees and especially the winner, that makes sense. That makes sense that he's presenting this. And the nominees were The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, and The Perfect Neighbor. And the winner was Mr. Nobody Against Putin, which
I guessed.
Yeah,
you did guess.
Right.
That was my runner up. I feel because like it was. I feel like it was between those two. Come See Me in the Good Light had a good chance, but I'm not super well versed in documentaries. The Perfect Neighbor was the one I heard most about. But
so there were 3 documentaries here that were effectively found footage documentaries. They were documentaries just taken of real footage that people just sort of happened to be shooting. The Perfect Neighbor is body cam footage. The Alabama Solution is recorded by prisoners with their smuggled iPhones. And Mr. Nobody Against Putin is this guy, Pavel Telenkin, filming his school discreetly as it slowly falls into the clutches of Putin and the propaganda machine. And I think nothing more succinctly describes why this documentary rubs me the wrong way than during the acceptance speech, the person who was accepting the award presented Pavel Telenkin as the main character of the documentary. He's not a character, he's a real person. But the documentary itself and in the acceptance speech treats him like a character. And he sort of treats himself like a character. There's a lot of moments in that documentary where he'll just kind of sit down and explain to you what's happening. And I don't know, it rubs me very wrong, and especially when you're trying to make a documentary about something so big and horrifying and something like this, putting a person at the center of it almost feels disingenuous to me, and it always rubbed me wrong. And I was really hoping for The Perfect Neighbor to win. Gita Gondabir, the director of The Perfect Neighbor, is nominated twice for 2 different documentaries, one in short, one in feature, and she didn't take home either of those wins.
Yeah,
which I was sad about because I think she really deserved it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the documentary. I've seen half of The Perfect Neighbor. I haven't watched the first half because I was in class and I walked into the room when Jesse was watching it. Um, but yeah, I guess treating real like I can't comment on the documentary because I haven't seen it, like I said, but like calling real people characters in a movie always is kind of distasteful to me. Like call them the real person and say like, oh, he's such a fascinating character. I'm like, he's not fictional. He's a real dude.
Yeah.
Or like real person, like man, woman, whoever. It's just like treat them like the real person. Like if you make a biopic on somebody, if you tell a story about them, like don't call them a character. Call them the person that they are,
Yeah.
and like present them as that.
Yeah, and it's different in like Come See Me in the Good Light, right? Like that's about a person. That's about Andrea Gibson. You can't escape that. But like Mr. Nobody Against Putin isn't about Pavel Telenkin. His life itself is not what the documentary is really focused on, and shouldn't be what the documentary is focused on. But for some reason, it kind of wants to be focused around that, which is annoying. But then we have the best documentary short film. The nominees for Best Documentary Short Film were All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renault, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, and Perfectly a Strangeness. Now, The Devil is Busy is my favorite here, but All the Empty Rooms won, and I understand why. It's a sad documentary. It is probably far more impactful for most people than it was for me, and I'm not going to begrudge it winning. Perfectly a Strangeness should not be in this category. It is not a documentary. They decided to film goats and pretend like they were telling a story. And yeah, The Devil is Busy, directed by Geeta Gandbir. I think she deserved it, but kind of had no chance against All the Empty Rooms.
Yeah, all the empty. Well, I didn't know. I don't know much about any of these, but when she went on stage and said that, like her daughter was killed in the Uvalde shooting, that really, I guess, really hit me because like that's legitimately like one of the saddest news stories I think I've ever read.
Yeah.
Like horrible, horrible tragedy, and the fact that the person who made the documentary is actually affected by that, and just gives the title so much more, I guess, meaning and eeriness as well.
Yeah, she didn't make the documentary. She did, I
Oh
don't,
no,
she
she didn't.
didn't actually win
Yeah.
an Oscar. They'd only brought her on stage.
Okay.
But she didn't. I don't believe that she was actually. I mean, she was in the documentary, but she didn't. I don't think she actually
I know
won an Oscar
she was
for it.
holding one. I don't know.
I don't. She's not listed among the nominees.
Okay, maybe that's just on me, but
but-
like she was on stage regardless.
She was on stage, and that single speech that she delivers is more impactful than I think the entire documentary short was, which is unfortunate because the documentary short had the opportunity to be impactful. But no, that speech that she gave was the most moving thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. We then continue on with the next category. The next category was Best Score.
Score. When does I think the golden performance was a little after this.
Yeah, it was like right before the actual Best Song Oscar, I remember.
Yeah.
I believe that's correct.
Or somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah, it was somewhere. It's somewhere soon. But the Best Score award was brought to you by the cast of Bridesmaids.
Yeah, it's cool to see them reunite. That movie is really, it's really funny. Especially like early Paul Feig stuff.
Yeah, and they spent a very long time on this bit. They each got notes and they read them out, and it was like they were
I thought
poking fun
that
at
was
the
funny.
nominees.
Yeah.
It took a while, but yeah, it was pretty good. The nominees were Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners, and the winner was Sinners.
All fantastic pieces of music, I will say.
Ludwig Göransson, this is his third win. He won for Black Panther, Oppenheimer, and now this. He is probably one of the greatest working composers right now.
Yeah, definitely next to Hans Zimmer, who I would say is the best working composer right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, music was great. I mean, Sinners sound fantastic. Both vocal music, but also score wise, Ludwig Göransson's great. I mean, he also did The Mandalorian and a couple other. He's been working with Christopher Nolan a lot, just because I think Hans Zimmer's busy with Dune.
Yep. Yeah, and now I think we can go into the song performance here because wow, we spent a while without it, huh?
Yeah.
Like it took a while for us to get there. But they performed Golden. That the voice actresses behind the characters from Huntrix and K-pop Demon Hunters performed Golden in what might have been the single most static performance of all time. It almost felt like it was cut short for time. Like, it was weird how spare that performance was.
Cut short for time. It seems to be a theme among.
Yeah, they really don't know how to pace this. I'm sure we'll
No.
talk about it later, but just with speeches, musical numbers especially is a problem. They really don't know how to pace this
We
stuff
deserve
out.
a better version. Max, sing it for us.
Well, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we cut
Just,
that whole
yeah.
we cut that whole performance out, but it was
just as
fantastic.
great as
Again, the vocals were so layered. I don't know how we did
It's
that.
like three people singing at the same time.
Yeah, it was,
It was so great. And then
good
Logan and Jesse joined in and they killed it. Like it was literally just like Huntrix reuniting.
yeah, no, it was weird. And
It was
then and
amazing.
Logan was doing like the synth.
Oh
like the
my god,
synth
that was
instrumental.
insane.
Yeah, that
it was
was
so
like-
good.
Instrumental.
Yeah, I mean, I would do it, but I don't even think I could do it.
And then a bunch of
justice.
people came in the room with light bulbs or like light
And then we got
with the
scared
sticks.
and-
Like
Yeah, then we got scared.
we got scared,
and
but-
ran away. And
yeah, but we were still jamming out. I mean, they seem
I
happy.
think they're mostly gone now.
Yeah, there's none at the table.
yeah, no.
Okay, we're good.
Well, I mean, he's
Um,
fine. He's
yeah, he's chill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so yeah, they performed it. The song was great, but the performance was not very good. There wasn't a whole lot of staging. There was kind of dancers and there were light bulbs in the crowd. People had light bulbs. I don't.
What did you think they were at first? Like
light bulbs.
No, you thought they were
No, you
maracas.
thought
Oh,
they
I thought they were
maracas.
maracas. They were shaped like maracas, and I saw like a clip where like Tiana Taylor was shaking one when someone went on stage, and I was like, "Did she bring a maraca?" And then more people had them. I was like, "Oh no, they're like glow sticks."
No, they're light bulbs.
light
and
bulbs.
And yeah, no, it was not. It's
Why
a
light
musical. It's a
bulbs?
musical. Perform more than one song. If you're not going to perform all
That's what I
5
said.
nominees, perform more than one song from the musical.
well, I mean, you have to
Yeah,
cut
you
for
know-
time
you know-
for the 2-hour Oscar.
The 2-hour broadcast that they never
Broadcast.
hit the time on, they always go
fu-
over.
The
They-
5-hour broad, they go over every time. Like they don't know how to pace.
They
that.
need to stop pretending like they're actually going to make time this year because they never do.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, what was going on with the cameraman? There's so many like they were like slipping and stuff.
Yeah,
and I was
the-
like,
So many
camera
audio
operators-
cutoffs and
the audio cutoffs were on purpose. They tried to like censor out swear words and sneezes and stuff.
yeah, that I know they
like
do
live.
that on purpose.
well,
Like you
not
know,
all of them. There was
you know what would have been a cool. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I thought wasn't it K-pop Demon Hunters when they cut off who he was gonna thank?
That wasn't an audio cutout. They just cued him out. They
Yeah.
cued him out really loudly.
Yeah, same thing.
That's not the same thing.
You just cue him out.
No, an
It's
audio
cut.
dropout. No, the audio dropouts were censorship when people were saying things like shit and other such bad words, other assorted bad words, like shit.
That's just semantics.
Yeah.
sound
It's the
went to-
definitions of words.
The sound went to 0, and that's all.
The
we
sound didn't
care.
go to 0. There was music. They went like.
sound for-
There's music.
Sound for his voice went to 0.
No, you can still hear him if he talked it, but like they
No.
were playing it too loud. Whatever. Not the point. The
You're so
point is.
Yeah.
pedantic.
Like, do you know it would have been a cool musical if like they recreated they did like the Rocky Road to Dublin bit where they had like Jack
Mm.
O'Connell singing like a bunch of them dancing around the stage. Like that's cool. You got choreography there.
I think it's really hard to sell sell anyone on like, okay, you're gonna do a Sinners musical. Which song are you gonna perform? The white person one? Maybe the one sang by the white person. Like, I get why they wouldn't go for that.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of other stuff they could do there. Like
Yeah,
the credits song they could have done.
They could, yeah. Last time I seen the sun, that would have been great.
But also it would have
Um,
made the broadcast instead of 3.5 hours more like 6. Which, but every year I feel the runtime more. It's like come on.
I mean, look,
And yet they still cut people off. Like come
I don't
on.
look. They're cutting off actual speeches in favor of looking at Channing Tatum's panties. I don't like reallot your time, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not gonna let us have a good musical performance, just cut out some of the really bad bits that you have going on. The bridesmaids bit I brought up it taking so long because it did. They had 5 different people on stage doing 5 long-winded bits.
No,
That went on for like
No.
10 minutes.
we didn't need any of that.
Cut some of that out and give us another K-pop Demon Hunter song. Let people have some time to like give their speeches. Like, jeez. So yeah, it kind of pissed me off. that especially
It's the Oscars. What can you expect?
I don't know, maybe some appreciation for the art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
maybe
It's
in
a
the
little too
next
much.
maybe in the next couple of
Little
years.
too much. But the bridesmaids presenters stayed on stage to do their next category, which was sound.
Yeah.
Best sound, the nominees were F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat. I was really excited that C-Rock got nominated because the sound was great, but honestly, it was more thanks to the score than anything. But F1 ended up taking this one, another kind of locked category.
Yeah, very deserving. I'm a big fan of F1, and obviously when you have sound like races and things like that, like it's really impressive how they're able to do it, especially having cameras on a Formula One track. I can't imagine that being easy at all.
Yeah.
Like, really, really, really cool stuff.
Yeah. No, F1 had fantastic sound. I can't begrudge it for that. And then we got the dynamic duo Bill and Lewis Pullman
Yeah,
on stage to discuss some film editing with us. The nominees for film editing were F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Unfortunately, film editing is often a ballot default category, so this one went to One Battle After Another.
Man, Marty Supreme getting snubbed.
Marty
Yeah.
Supreme did not.
F1 won more Oscars than Marty Supreme.
Yeah, Marty Supreme did not win a single Oscar. However, it did not have the most losses of the ceremony.
Yeah,
The most losses of the ceremony and most losses of all time now goes to Sinners, despite the fact that Sinners took home 4 Oscars.
it's
Yeah.
also the most nominated movie of all time.
It
it's
is
a
also
little-
the
It's
most
a little
nominated
bit
movie,
like
so.
yeah, part of that's a little.
Yeah,
bit
it
cluttered.
lost the most because it
It's an
also had
outlier.
the most. It is kind of an outlier, but
But it's something
still.
I can imagine that people are like, oh, it has the most losses. I'm like, do you know how many nominations it got?
Yeah, it's an infuriating statistic when taken out of context because I think you do need to recognize that it won 4 Oscars and was nominated for 16. That changes the statistics a little bit, I think. And then, yeah, did the Pullman stay on stage for cinematography?
I don't remember.
I believe they did, but I could be wrong. Also, Bill and Lewis Pullman are together in a new movie coming out soon, Spaceballs 2,
Yeah,
which better be
Very-
called The Quest for More Money.
search for more money.
A search for sorry.
Excuse you.
I
The
screwed it
second
up.
part.
I screwed it up. Send me away. And so they actually didn't.
Spaceballs 3, the search for Spaceballs 2.
It was
That's my preference, but to
yeah,
each their own.
it was Demi Moore who came on stage to
Yeah, 'cause
deliver the nominee for cinematography.
yeah. Looks like she murdered a peacock beforehand. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
she was in a feathered dress. And the nominees were Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. And Sinners won.
Yeah,
Autumn Durald Arkapaw became the first woman to win cinematography, which is really scary.
yeah, really scary, but
As a
also
thought.
I cannot be more happy for her because
Oh,
she did a great job.
absolutely. I mean, she did a great job. And the fact that she's the first woman to win cinematography reflects not at all on her because she would have been fantastic whether or not a woman had won cinematography before her. But the fact that the Oscars had got 98 years without giving cinematography to a woman is like, what? What are we doing? It's ridiculous to me. It's the same thing with Paul Tazwell last year becoming the first black man to win an Oscar for costume design. It's baffling to me how either the Academy hasn't been recognizing these people or they haven't been getting a chance to show off their skills. It's very sad. But Autumn Durald Arkapaw, fantastic cinematography work on Sinners. That is a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
I'm very happy with the pick, even though I said I wanted Train Dreams to win, and I do stand by that. But I am so happy with Sinners winning. And then we move into Best International Feature.
well, I guess that does it.
It
was,
it was
Priyanka
Priyanka Chopra and Javier Bardem for international.
Yeah,
And the nominees were Brazil's The Secret Agent, France's It Was Just an Accident, Norway's Sentimental Value, Spain's Sirat, and Tunisia's The Voice of Hind Rajab. And the Oscar went to Sentimental Value.
yeah.
Another very locked category, and we gave Joachim Trier the Oscar he was waiting for on that. And yeah, Norway got their win.
Yeah, very happy for Joachim Trier.
Yeah. And then we get to Best Song, which is part of what we were talking about before. That kind of pissed us off a little bit. When
Or
they
you, but yeah.
it
Yeah.
definitely pissed me off. But
Yeah, it kind of made me mad. I'm not gonna lie.
the
Or
nom-
not kind of. It did make me mad.
the nominees for original song were "Dear Me" from Diane Warren, "Relentless," "Golden" from K-pop Demon Hunters, "I Lied to You" from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. They presented those in the wrong order. I don't know how, but they presented Dear Me and then Train Dreams and then Golden and then I Lied to You and then Sweet Dreams. It was weird. Golden won, and EJ gave a speech first, and then someone else tried to give their speech and was immediately cued out incredibly loudly, and they cut to credits. It was
So disrespectful.
such a disrespectful moment.
I mean, first the Golden Globes, which like is comic is like the Golden Globes suck, but like the Oscar, come on, guys.
No, it was just really infuriating, especially when they're giving so much time to the bridesmaids bit, which, you know, it was funny for a time, but dragged on for 10 minutes. If you're trying to cut down on time, maybe cut down on some of these bits. Maybe, but no. Yeah, and then we moved into to Best Director. Best Director was presented by Zendaya and Robert Pattinson.
The drama. And or Dune 3, depending
that's
how
the
you
thing.
look at it.
Zendaya and Robert Pattinson are in 3 movies together this year. It could have been the drama, could have been Dune 3, could have been The Odyssey. They're both in all 3 of those movies. So and it's fitting that normally they play a commercial after that like advertises the movie they're in, but they actually just played a Rolex commercial that happened to feature a lot of Zendaya.
Yeah, a lot of Burger King ads as well. They
It's
really
true.
wanted you to eat Burger King.
That is true. And the nominees for director were Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. The winner was Paul Thomas Anderson.
Finally got his directing Oscar.
Very deserved, not for this movie, but very deserved. Paul Thomas Anderson needed an Oscar by this point. It's unbelievable that he didn't already have one.
Yeah.
Especially for directing, like his kind of medium of choice. And then we moved into the final 2 acting awards, actor and actress, starting with actor, presented by Adrian Brody, who made a poorly timed joke about how long his acceptance speech was last year.
Well, I mean, for his, it was funny, but for the ceremony, it was like, God, they literally did that to somebody else.
It would have been very funny if they didn't violently cut off a different presenter right before he went on stage.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I mean, it's kind of like I respect Adrian Brody for like acknowledging the fact that his speech went long. He pulls out a piece of paper and then the music starts playing.
Yeah. No, it's a good bit, just poorly timed. There's no way he could have foreseen that. That's
Yeah, that's not his fault.
not his fault.
His
Not
fault.
his fault at all. But he gave the Best Actor Oscar, and the Best Actor Oscar, the nominees were Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent.
Take your guesses in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you next episode
they're gonna say next year.
once we reveal who it is.
The winner was Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, so happy about that.
Yeah.
Very incredibly deserved. I said in the podcast I wanted him to win, and I'm so glad he did. It delivers one of my favorite performances of the year, and definitely my favorite that was nominated.
We forgot to talk about the bit when there were like 10 Michael B. Jordans in the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where every
At the
stand,
beginning.
just half half the empty seats are all Michael. Are Michael B.
Conan
Jordan.
O'Brien said all the seat fillers are Michael B. Jordan, and so they cut to like 20 Michael B. Jordan sitting in the stands, and Conan was like, "How do I look?" And they were all like, "Eh." But yes, Michael B. Jordan, so happy he won. I believe he's the first nominated, or the first winner to play dual roles.
Yeah, which is, not enough people are talking about that. They're just talking about the fact that it was Michael B. Jordan, which is great that they should be, but I also think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
he was playing twins.
Michael B. Jordan has probably one of my votes for greatest actor working today. He's so good, and he was so good in Sinners. I mean, good God. And then yeah, we moved on to actress, presented by Mikey Madison, who won last year for Honora.
Yeah.
The nominees were Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. The winner was Jessie Buckley. An incredibly locked category. I mean, I think Jessie Buckley gives the best performance out of these 5, but she also gives the most performance out of these 5. You know, her role includes a lot of crying and weeping and screaming and running and all these things. And I do think that she deserved that Oscar, and I'm very happy that she won one.
Yeah. And also, I just looked up something. I mean, Jessie Buckley was great. It's like one of the few times that Best Actress, was like, well, in a way, like locked and to the right person. I mean, Jessie Buckley gave a great speech about how her daughter was younger and like she can't wait to tell her about it when she's older and that she's proud to be a mom. Like,
Yeah.
really, especially the film that she went for, which is Hamnet, which deals with a lot of that. So deserving. Like seeing her and Michael B. Jordan together afterwards, like very deserving wins, and with Amy Madigan as well, and for some people, Sean Penn. But I actually looked up for Michael B. Jordan. He's actually not the first person to win for playing dual roles.
Who
He's
won?
the third person.
Who else?
So Lee Marvin won in 1966 for dual roles Kid Shellin and Tim Strawn in a movie called Cat Ballou.
Okay. Yeah.
And Frederick March won in 1932, the first person for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh.
It's technically counted as two different people.
Okay.
So Michael B. Jordan's not the first person.
He's not the first person.
That's why nobody's talking about it, because he's not the first person.
Because it's not true.
Yeah, because that's not true. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I did not know that until I just looked it up. But in case you were wondering, that he is not the first person, but still deserving nonetheless.
Very, very deserving.
Just,
and then
not as groundbreaking as I thought.
and then Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman took the stage.
Yeah, Moulin Rouge reunion.
25th anniversary of Moulin Rouge. To present Best Picture, the nominees were Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. And
the Oscar goes to.
One Battle After Another. We kind of spoiled it many, many times.
I figured it was going to win Best Picture, like for the longest
It was
time.
so locked. It won every single precursor other than actor awards, and then when Sinners won Best Ensemble, everyone was like, oh, maybe maybe it could happen, but it didn't
No.
happen. Of course, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, good job, PTA. I'm happy that a PTA movie won Best Picture.
I'm
And
happy
his
as
other
well.
Yeah.
extremely hot degree temperature Oscar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Given
rotating that thing like a rotisserie.
Yeah, because definitely, I would have been much happier if Sinners won. That's just a personal preference of
Me
mine.
too.
But like, I know a lot of people are happy that One Battle won. I'm not angry about it at all. But like, it kind of continues a trend that the Academy's been doing for the past couple of years. I guess not been doing, but like the movies they chose of the past couple of years have not been my favorite that were nominated. I mean, a lot of that's probably personal preference, but the one they chose, it's just like you kind of just forget that they were nominated for Best Picture, and I feel like this is gonna be another one.
I think that the Oscars tend to like to pick movies that they think will look good in a list of Oscar winners in 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, they want to have that have the satisfaction of people saying, "Wow, 50 years ago, the Oscar winners were really fantastic," and they actually succeeded. Right now, you have people online talking about how good the Oscar winners from the 70s were.
Yeah, and the
50 years ago.
In the 90s.
The
Like, you look
90s
at the 90s, like there's only like two pretty big misfires, but like the rest of them are like on point.
But that's what they kind of like to do. And so you see a lot of reactionary movies being not winning for whatever reason. And I feel like One Battle After Another is far too reactionary to be in that way. I feel like a lot of people herald it as an important film of some sort. And I do not see it. I really do not see it. And I like the movie. Don't get me wrong here. I do like the movie. I just think it's easily the most overrated movie of 2025.
Hoping Marty Supreme, but
Marty Supreme would have been nice.
Yeah.
That was a good.
No.
That was a good movie. I was hoping Sinners. I think Sinners deserved it. I think Sinners is the best film of the year.
Me too. It has gotten a little bit overrated since it came out, but I still really like it.
It's like in my top 10 of all time. I don't know how I would even call it overrated.
Yeah. Because I guess you're just not in the camp then.
No, I think I'm in the camp that's overrating it rather than the camp calling it overrated.
Maybe. I mean, more power to you. But
Yeah,
I guess
no,
for
you know
me,
what?
like, like greatest of all time, like for me, no. But like, it's a fantastic movie. regardless.
And that's the thing. The Oscars are never actually tell you what the best movie of the year is. It's always your decision what the best movie of the year is. It's interesting to break down the psychology of the Academy and their voters to figure out what exactly they're voting for. It's fun as a sort of
Yeah, or if they decide not to watch the movies.
That's also true. It's fun as a betting game, as a fun competition to play with your friends, to kind of watch it as more of a spectacle, to laugh and cry when the people that deserve those little golden
Oh.
men.
I thought you were making an AMC joke with Nicole Kidman being there
and
on stage.
somehow
Laughing,
make
crying.
heartbreak feel good.
Or for other people, it's just heartbreak.
And like look back on it and say, "Oh yeah, I remember that. That was weird." You know, in the words of Amy Madigan, you just get a little yellow man.
Yeah, you
And
just get,
that's-
you just get your little yellow man.
Your little yellow man, and then you're happy.
Of differing temperatures.
Oh, yeah. So, did the Oscars pick the best film of the year? They never do. Sometimes I agree with them that that was the best picture, but that's not really what they're here for. So, yeah.
Yeah,
what-
and then it closed out with Conan O'Brien's final little bit where he recreates the ending of One Battle, where he's like, "Oh, you're the Oscar host for life," and then it does the thing where the gas comes in the room and Conan O'Brien dies.
Yeah, and then they say that Mr. Beast
Yeah, Mr. Beast.
will be the host for life.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's it on this year's ceremony. Gotta
Yeah.
wait till next year, and in
Well-
2 years will be the 100th Academy Awards ceremony, which is very exciting.
So what did you think about this year's Oscars?
Very safe. Not very, extremely safe. The past couple years have kind of felt that to me. Regardless if you think it's 100%, like there was barely any surprises, and the ones that did were unpredictable. Like no one could have predicted there'd be a tie. Like that's just
It's true.
unreasonable.
It's true.
But like most of the wins, I was like, okay, yep, okay, happy for them. But I'm like, yeah, not anything big surprises. And honestly, like I'm fine with that. It's not like a big nick, but I think with the award show, I really enjoyed it. I think the Oscars are starting to iron out some kinks. There's definitely some issues to fix. One, they really need to pace their time. I think that's the biggest thing with not cutting off speeches, maybe cutting down some bits and working how to make it run smoothly without the award show feeling like 5 hours long. Because that's always I don't want to say turn off for me, but like sometimes like I feel it like, okay, come on, let's go. But really enjoy it. Like Conan O'Brien, I thought was great. I know some people didn't love all of his humor, but I really like him as just a person, comedian, whatever you want to call him. He's great. I liked most of the bits. I was happy for a lot of the winners. Unless I don't really have much to say besides that. I feel like this is going to be one of those ceremonies that I was like, yeah. And then in 5 years, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my thoughts. Good. I've definitely liked the Oscars more recently, but not perfect. But I think not really with the winners. I feel like it's with some of the pacing, and especially do not interrupt speeches, and maybe cut down on some that do need to be interrupted. But yeah, anyway,
Just
that's
gotta pick and choose.
yeah, that's my take
know,
on it.
Say safe, long-winded, self-congratulatory, politically motivated, forgettable. Classic Oscars.
As the Oscars have always been.
Yeah, kind of seems that way.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
enough.
I think that I wouldn't call the Oscars completely predictable until I predict them perfectly, because I think it's a little I don't know. I wouldn't.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I
for
wouldn't.
you.
I wouldn't go on here and say that there were no surprises at the Oscars when I got 6 categories wrong. If there were no surprises at the Oscars, I would have gotten 24 categories correct.
Yeah, or I would say it's safe.
Um,
That's how I would say. I wouldn't say necessarily predictable. I'd say safe. That's my word.
I mean, sure, safe, but like a lot of these movies deserved it, and I'll give them credit where credit is due. There weren't a lot of picks that I looked at and said that movie did not deserve that Oscar. There were a couple, and we mentioned them along the way, but there weren't that many.
Which is where my term. Yeah, it's just where my term comes in.
Although I just think I think that there's a negative connotation on that, and I'm just trying to clear up that it's not necessarily a negative thing.
No, I mean, you heard me say. I didn't
Yeah.
say. I didn't. I didn't
No,
think it was. Yeah.
I don't think it is either, because a lot of these movies deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed our commentary on the 2026 Oscars, the 98th Academy Awards. Yeah. How do we give ratings? What do we do?
A
I don't
98 out of 100 years. Hopefully,
Yeah.
in a couple years, it'll be worth it.
it's hard to really rate an award show because sometimes it's
Yeah.
like hard.
Do you rate it based on the show? What you thought about the winners?
I mean,
don't
winners
know.
wise, up or down, like again, safe, right there in the middle. Just like I don't know. It was just kind of like mostly one note watching, save for the little surprise there
Yeah.
with the
With the
tie.
tie.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien's a fantastic host. Most of the bits were really well done. I just really think the award show needs to work on pacing, especially like how do you draw people into an award show that naturally will go on. I think they still need to work on that. I feel like after watching this, I'm like, I think that's the biggest problem. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Nothing that made me mad, but also, um, yeah, I guess kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it.
It was pizza at the watch party. So
Yeah, it was
I'm
pizza.
happy.
It was pizza.
Yeah.
All right. Letterboxd plugs. On Letterboxd, I am Threnv. That is THRNV, like the sin. I have reviews up for all 50 Oscar nominations. So if you want to read my thoughts on any one of the 50 Oscar nominations, including shorts, documentaries, international features, literally everything that got a nomination at the Academy Awards.
Yeah, you've been
I'm your guy.
busy.
I'm your guy. I watched all 50 of them so that I would have personal investment.
Yeah. And it's really great that you did that. My death race is watching all the Best Picture nominees, but I don't know. There's people out there that watch all of them, and I think it's really cool that you're able to do that. I guess my letterbox plug, same as it's always been. MJ Spiegel, it's, MJSPIEGEL. I don't remember off the top of my head what I have on my page, but I do know if you want to something related to the Oscars, I do have a ranking of all 10 of the Best Picture nominees from this year ranked. Definitely some hot takes in there. I will say right now that you've heard me say I'm a big fan of F1. So if you don't like F1, you're probably not gonna like that ranking too much. But if you're curious about it anyway, feel free to check it out on my page.
Yeah, and Letterboxd, you can find me at Invaded Films as INVADEDFILMS. I'm kind of switching my prerogatives. I'm switching my the way that I'm going to be doing my Letterboxd for this year. I'm going to be focusing more on just random picks per episode. I'm going to try to do one random movie pick to review, maybe something to rewatch, maybe something new that I have watched as of recent. This week's is going to be The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared.
Yeah, he
That-
wasn't kidding when he said random.
Yeah.
very random. It is.
Yes, the 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared.
Yeah. Got our first try.
Yeah, based on Jonas Johansson's book of the same name, a story of Alan Carlson, the centenarian who escapes his nursing home on his 100th birthday to avoid a birthday party. He gets into all the crazy shenanigans that I personally enjoy. If you want to see my full but not completely, written out thoughts about it, then, go check it out. It's
Yeah.
Hell
be
yeah.
excited.
And also, one final thing. I forgot to mention this during my letterbox plug, but if you haven't been following the podcast recently, we do have an Instagram page. Hasn't been too active recently, just in terms of what the episodes will be doing. But
Let's do a skit after this.
yeah, we can. Go ahead, go follow the Instagram if you have it. It's post_credits podcast, all lowercase. Hopefully I'll try to get a link down for that in the description so it's easier to access. But for the time being, yeah, go follow us on Instagram.
Roll credits.